Hi, hello people of the Palia world. Long time no see, it's Xtina. The last time I uploaded a Palia video was July 2021. It is now December 2021, so I am going to give you every Palia update since then. If you've been too lazy to keep up with the Discord and the Ask the Team section, as I have been, I'm gonna read off some recent questions. And I hope you enjoy it. I'm really excited for the game. You know, the pre-alpha concluded and all that stuff. And if you want to know more about Palia, you can watch my other videos. I have timestamps for the various categories in the description. We got gameplay/mechanics, player interaction, clothing, housing, NPCs, lore, world, and game progress/what's next at the end. So, I sound like such a cringe YouTuber, but let's dive in. Sorry, not sorry, I'm gonna be reading off of my computer. Whee! So first up, gameplay/mechanics. What is your vision and approach towards transportation around Palia? We saw in the 14-second clip of the character using a glider after jumping off an elevated platform. Is there a way of negating fall damage? I'll show you that clip, by the way, you guys. That'll be in the last section of the video, the little gameplay clip, so keep watching anyways. Do you plan for easy, accessible transportation methods? Example, portals. So visiting different cities/villages is fast and convenient. Answer. Fundamentally, we view this as a balance between immersion and convenience and believe that the importance of these two elements shift as you spend more and more time in a space. We've been focused on building a world worthy of exploration, so as you're discovering each part of the world for the first time, minding all the details can be rewarding and important. As you play longer, you'll start to engage with new systems and soften the navigation burden over time. At a high level, being present in the world is something we think is important in Palia, so we're trying to strike a balance that keeps Palia feeling like a tangible, interconnected place without allowing the need for immediate gratification to ever get too sharp. There should be joy in the journey, not just the destination. I think that's a really long answer for no to portals. That's what I think. But you know, we'll see. I've been proven wrong in the past. Will we need to eat/drink or sleep? These activities are not strictly required, but they will all have a variety of benefits in the game that make engaging in professions like cooking have real worth. From an incentives perspective, these systems are oriented around having strong benefits for engaging with them over strong penalties for not. I like that a lot because I hate passing out in Stardew Valley. I really hate it. Do you have an in-game mailbox? Can you send other players mail/items? Answer. Right now, we have an adorable in-game mailbox where you will get mail from the villagers. In the future, we plan to leverage the mail system to allow players to send each other's letters and gifts, but we are taking our time to make sure those interactions feel meaningful. The mailbox will still be adorable then. Oh my god, this answer is so long, so I am going to summarize it. Basically, they're asking about minigames, and they're saying, what is the whole, philosophy behind Palia minigames? And they say they want it to fulfill the player fantasy, game over simulation, so they're not trying to make it a meticulous recreation of reality, keep it in the world, so they don't want to bring up full-screen UI elements, like a whole separate game thing. Like, if you remember in Wizard 101, there was this one, potion game where it's literally just, a brand new screen. So they're trying to avoid stuff like that. Fun solo, better together. Very cool. I think that's self-explanatory. Accessible depth opt-in challenge. With appropriate time and effort, all players should be able to find success when engaging with the skills of their choosing. However, for players seeking to demonstrate skill and mastery, we create optional advanced goals to achieve. To me, it sounds like what they refer to as minigames is also just the skills, like cooking, because they're talking about mastery. And I'm pretty sure the things that you master in this game is cooking, right? So I guess minigames contribute to your mastery of skills like cooking or gathering or whatever it is. I didn't notice the question yet, so what's the expected player activity? How often should player log in? Asking because most current MMOs feel more like chores, log in daily, etc. Answer. We've tried to do a lot in the design of Palia to undermine the sense of falling behind when you don't play consistently. If we're successful, Palia should feel like a game that's always there for you when you need it, but doesn't require radical or regimented devotion to enjoy or play correctly. We want Palia to be a game that lets you play the way you want to play when you want to play. And I love that. because frankly, I get so stressed by the idea of like, oh my God, I gotta like log in to water my crops or like make sure my villagers don't move away, you know? So that's great. Definitely makes it feel like less of a chore. Thank you. Thank you, Palia. I noticed for Kenyatta's introduction card, it says she hasn't chosen her path. That's something I noticed in one of my other videos when I pointed out. Is this just a general term you're using to say she hasn't figured out her future career, or is this some kind of player system? Like being able to choose a path as a cook, which would give you access to certain cooking skills, recipes that people that didn't choose the path would not have access to. Answer: this is a narrative concept linked to a certain culture in our game of choosing a lifelong career in young adulthood. We have not yet determined if/how the human characters, aka players, will engage with this narrative concept. The main thing is we want players to be able to play the way they want to and engage with the systems they see fit, so we are unlikely to unlock important gameplay content behind a narrative path choice. I don't know. I guess that's kind of cool. So basically, you know, you don't have to pick a class or a job or anything like that, and it's flexible throughout the game. I think there is something somewhat exciting about picking a class and being like, oh, this is what I am. But, you know, it is supposed to be a cozy, chill game, so that makes sense. Next up, we have player interaction. Are there any plans for supporting a collect-a-thon style of play, maybe something like the museum in Animal Crossing, where you can show off all the different types of fish and other stuff you've collected, or a way to check someone's profile and see all the different things they've caught? Answer: to start with, you will have the ability to see what kind of resources you've personally seen and collected, fish, crops, etc. We definitely expect it will be a challenge to collect them all. In the future, we'll be exploring a variety of collection activities you can pursue as a group with your neighborhood. We absolutely want players to have the ability to appreciate your hard-earned collections and accomplishments, so expect a variety of ways to share if you're interested in doing so. I absolutely love that because as a competitive person, I would love to show off my dedication to Palia, whether it be in fishing or bug hunting or whatever it is. Palia prides itself on being a cozy and open world of the community sim genre, but no server selection means there will probably be phasing. That means developing a sense of community will be extremely tough and most likely non-existent, which worries me because that's what I and many other players I've spoken to are excited for. How do you plan to maintain a sense of community and togetherness within the vast amount of servers? So I'm a bit confused by this question because I'm not entirely sure what phasing means, but I think they're talking about the fact that like you don't see all players at the same time, and like what players you see depends on, I don't know, where you are or whatever, or what server you're on, but you can't like select your server is the thing. So they say, to make sure we're on the same page, I'm assuming phasing refers to a system in which some aspect of a player's state in the game determines which of a set number potential versions of the same map you actually appear on when entering that area, aka like what people you're seeing. This is commonly done to allow for changes in the world to occur, but as you highlight, comes at the cost of potentially segmenting the player base across socially undesirable lines. Your concerns with phasing, as it exists in other games, are some of the reasons we've chosen not to employ that approach for Palia. Excluding some international restrictions, you will be able to play with any player anytime you'd like. Our server structure is fairly unique in the MMO space, and we believe it will be one of the features that helps us foster a sense of community and togetherness. It's also important to highlight that groups above a certain scale also tend to struggle to create lasting community and social connection. That's why systems like guilds exist, to take a pool of thousands or millions of players and cut that down to manageable numbers of players with shared goals and expectations. We're betting on our server structure to help us meet this challenge too. So something I'm wondering is like, okay, so obviously you can get, you know, if you're not like already in that batch of people where your friend is, you can, you know, add your friend and then they'll be on the same like server map as you or whatever. But I'm wondering, like, is everyone you add, like, are they automatically always going to be visible to you now? And like same thing with guild? Probably, right? Yeah, I'm guessing that's what they're talking about. Yeah. Okay, now this is something that I talked about in one of my videos, and it's slightly disappointing for me, but it makes sense. Like, it's not that kind of game, so it's on the PvP. I have noticed that you are being compelled by me, to add PvP and elements of competitive play. There is also a fan narrative asserting that these elements will be present, but just not in the alpha. Can you please explain the vision in a way that provides clarity on this topic? Thanks for this question. Your initial impression is correct, but there is some nuance. First off, the core vision and target experience for Palia centers around creating a collaborative, cozy, and safe multiplayer experience. An inherent part of providing that safety is that players know they exist in a world largely devoid of physical, social, and emotional threats. As such, we feel that player versus player combat is antithetical to our core experiential goals. Additionally, this is an area that many great games we love have invested in deeply, and since it's not our core, we're unlikely to produce an experience that measures up to player expectations were we to divert our focus into this area as well. However, there will be competitive play opportunities that can make sense in the world, like lighthearted experiences, a Sunday afternoon card game, racing on the beach, etc. Additionally, many of our core systems ladder up quite naturally into an option for a little competitive play. I know I've spent a lot of time with my family watching cooking competitions, and maybe you're eager to be recognized for your interior design skills. You know, that would actually be really cool if they found a way to really make interior design competitive. Like having some sort of voting system. I don't know how you would make interior design competitive because it's purely opinion based. Like I know there's the HOA point thing in Animal Crossing, which I was so confused by because sometimes I would be like, my house is gorgeous, and I would get like a B or a low score or whatever. Shut up, HOA, shut up. About gathering resources, I was confused about whether to put this in game mechanics or players, but like I feel like it has to do with players. And both though, it's fine. About gathering resources, will the object disappear after being gathered so that you actually have to camp the spot to harvest it before other players do it first? Or can you just harvest it and it will have a local cooldown for the player while other players can still harvest it? Answer. A core part of our goal with Palia is to make the multiplayer environment a collaborative one. A major part of this is how we adjust the various loot systems in the game that would otherwise turn them into a source of tension and competitive play. We have a wide variety of solutions we're continuously testing in this area, and upcoming playtests will help us assess where we're hitting those goals and where we need additional work. Suffice to say, friends and strangers are welcome. That's making it sound like it's going to be the latter, like you harvest it and it has a local cooldown. That's what it sounds like. Just me guessing here. Clothing and housing. I like to invest time into how my character looks in the game. Is this going to be a thing that has systems dedicated to it, like the WoW Transmog system or the FF Glamour system? Or will gear be more of an aesthetic thing in general? Answer. In general, visible gear in our game is purely cosmetic. There may be gameplay items that are visible, but they are not intended to interfere with any look you are trying to achieve. This gives players more choices to express their identity rather than picking gear for the best possible stats. Maybe it's also because, like, yet again, I'm just like competitive with games that I'm like, I want to get the objectively best clothes. And, you know, there's no objective best with clothes if there's nothing with stats, right? It's all a matter of opinion. So you can't really win at having clothes unless they find a way to make it a competition, like ratings or clothing competitions. Palia idea, fashion competitions, okay? Like the Pokemon fashion shows where you dress up your Pokemon, except, I don't know, like players vote or something? That would be really cool. How diverse will clothing/customizing your character be? Like, can I go from retired socialite with a husband who died of mysterious circumstances and now owns a winery? Clothing. To farmer hobo with one available overall in the wardrobe. You can absolutely shift your outfit, and our goal is to have a wide variety of options. Fashion is a big part of our game's culture, but at launch, realistically, there will be pretty limited options compared to our ambitions. Our plan is to constantly up our fashion game and give you everything from runway looks to hobo chic. That being said, we do plan to allow you to change clothes from the available options fairly easily through any wardrobe furniture item, including allowing you to save outfit configurations for quick swaps. Wonderful. Will we be able to express ourselves through the exterior of our houses? For example, putting a structural beam in a different place, expanding the house to a side of choice, multitude of room shapes to choose from, etc. There will be a lot of choice to be had in your home's design, including the exterior. Additionally, wherever the system is at launch is just the beginning, and we expect the player base will help us decide which new housing customization features we'll prioritize first. If I had to guess, It's going to be really simple at launch, like probably like Animal Crossing where, oh, you can pick the color of your roof and something like that, and maybe just like a little bit of the facade. And then it'll probably get more complicated as the game goes on. That's probably going to be most features in the game. Starts out simple, gets more complicated. How much creativity will we be able to pour into our housing and decoration? I hope a lot, since that's what I greatly enjoy about most games when I've done my exploration and gathering for the day. This is an area close to our hearts and critical to the identity of Palia. Our goal is to always be expanding the creative possibilities available for players to customize their housing plots, so expect a robust system at launch that continues to regularly expand with new content and systems over time. For example, we started the pre-alpha without the ability to customize wallpaper, but added it halfway through. Oh, okay, wallpaper. I'm guessing we can customize flooring too then, right? Now it's a new system we'll be producing new content for regularly. Very cool. Number 4, NPCs. What gameplay benefits, if any, will romance give us? Will we be able to opt fully out of using the romance feature without it being a detriment to our gameplay? There will be a variety of exciting, narrative-driven rewards. While you won't have to romance everyone to get the best house, there will be benefits. Best house. Whoa, is there a top-tier house? Ooh. Like an objectively best house, because if so, I'm gonna grind for that. Okay, there will be benefits to deepening your knowledge of our world. We want players to be able to engage in the romance feature for intrinsic reasons, like genuine interest in getting to know the characters. Yeah, you gotta love someone for their personality, not for their housing benefits and money. That's real love, baby. The romances are not meant for extrinsic rewards, therefore there is no gameplay advantage for romance and no disadvantage for opting out. Instead of a romance option for NPCs, could we get a friend path? You know, for those of us who aren't into the whole polyamory thing or who want... I love how they just assume that everyone's gonna be like going around romancing every NPC. Like, I'm going, as a person that has been cheated on, I am going to pick one NPC at a time. I'm going to pick one and I'm gonna stick with them. I'm not gonna go around talking to other people while I'm currently dating someone. No. All right, that got too personal. Anyways, where was I? Or who want a deeper relationship with a character but don't want to have to marry them in order to achieve it. I'm thinking like Persona 4. The romance options there could also end in a friendship option instead, but you still got a very similar story arc. Absolutely. In fact, the main story arc for each NPC is unlocked through the friendship system. The romance is intended to be a separate arc that players can engage with completely optionally. Completing the romance portion of the story adds flavor, and specificity to your relationship with the NPC, but it will not affect your ability to complete their story arc. While we do want the romance to feel meaningful and satisfying, we don't believe that close relationships need to be romantic in order to be meaningful. And neither do the citizens of Palia. I know that we can romance NPCs, but since Palia is multiplayer, will we be able to designate other players as friend, best friend, or partner? I really want this. As a single person, I want an in-game boo. You will certainly be able to designate friends, but we aren't currently expecting to have additional options available at launch. Boo! Sorry, I don't mean to be hard on you, Palia. I'm just excited. We do expect to be considering extensions to the friendship system in the future in which closer relationships are expressed in a meaningful way, possibly even having an impact on gameplay. I just want to be able to marry another player. Because I remember in Jade Dynasty, like, getting married, like, when I was 13 to some random stranger on the internet in-game. And it was a really exciting experience, I have to say. And they were, like, my bestie, and we were, like, a power couple. You know, we were both ascended and, like, max level anyways. Number 5, lore. Will lore develop as time goes on, i.e. will events happen in-game that affect the lore for future players? Yes, we want to continue developing the story after release. We want our story to feel alive, and we can achieve that through updates that introduce new story beats for players to dive into. We love the idea of giving the community the opportunity to affect the world and story through events, but that's something we'd be exploring further down the line. Tension and release is a very important part of quality storytelling and world building, and I worry that this game will become bland as a result. Are there any arguments you have against this perspective? Great question. For clarity, our goal is not to stray away from tension or challenging emotions when it comes to world building or storytelling, just to provide a safe and welcoming atmosphere for players to explore those story beats. In fact, in certain storylines, we want to actively engage the player in helping some of our villagers navigate negative emotional experiences, as we believe that emotional intimacy can be a big part of what allows you to feel cozy with someone. So basically, it's not going to be like Animal Crossing, where literally like the worst thing that happens is a pelican washes up on the beach and you're like, oh no, oh my god, you had a shipwreck. Or paying off your massive amount of debt. You know, who knows? Maybe someone like Ashura is dealing with the emotions of navigating the death of his late wife. Perhaps, and we have to counsel him? Am I spoiling Ashura's character arc? Is there a name for the culture of the elf-like residents of Palia? I know that Einar, I still can't say it, oh my god, is a golem, Zeki is a grimalkin, so I am wondering, do the elf-like people call themselves something unique? The elf-like people are called the Majiri. The name has a special significance in Palian culture, but you'll have to find out what it is. A few common traits you'll find among the Majiri are the values of tradition, hospitality, and community. They tend to be warm and welcoming, even towards those with customs very different from their own. Okay, second to last, we have the world. Will there be seasons and weather patterns such as snow, heavy rains, storms, droughts, etc.? This question was asked a lot. Yet again, they say we're not ready to talk about seasons at this time. When will they talk about seasons? Why is seasons so secretive? But we will definitely have a dynamic weather system that will impact a wide variety of the gameplay content in the game. We're also making sure our audio experience is capturing the charm of being sheltered inside while listening to the patter of raindrops across your roof. So what that sounds like is they haven't confirmed seasons. Like they're not sure yet. Maybe, or they're just not revealing it, whether we're going to have like fall and winter and stuff, but we're definitely going to have stuff like rain, sunshine. How huge and open the world is going to be. Is exploration going to be a big part of the gameplay? Palia will definitely feature exploration and discovery as an exciting part of your experience with the game. However, we know it's impossible for us to create enough content that exploration can be a permanent part of the experience, but it is something we can continuously reinvigorate as we expand the world of Palia over time. In terms of the size of our world at launch, it's also important to keep in mind that our core reference genre is community simulation. Games in this genre do a lot with comparably smaller land masses than what is typical of open world games. In general, our focus is on depth, variance, and replayability in our maps over massive breadth. Okay, and last but not least, we have game progress. What's next? For starters, the question that is on everyone's mind: when is the alpha taking place? The team learned a lot from the pre-alpha, which includes finding out that we have so much more work to do. Rip. We hope to get our alpha ready by the first half of the year. Okay, so within the next 6-7 months, alpha's going to be out. We will keep you informed as things develop, and we're super excited to have more players come into Palia. They also have not yet determined whether alpha is going to be open to everyone or whether it's just going to be another select amount of players, almost definitely more than 1,400. You know, they're going to make it more expansive, I imagine, than the pre-alpha was, but we'll see how expansive it is or how open it is to players. Can you share some gameplay, please? Even 10 seconds is good, preferably showing other players too. So now I am going to play the 10 or 12 second clip that they shared with us, the few disclaimers that they said before looking at it. The HUD display controls map quest info has been removed, as that is definitely still not final. And the facial animations have not yet been implemented in our designs. And this is all a work in progress and not representative of the final game. So without further ado, here is the gameplay clip. And when I first saw this, I was pretty impressed. I think it looks really good. I really hope that everything goes smoothly. And I think the Palia team seems smart enough, or rather conscientious enough about player feedback that they would not show a gameplay clip of something that they are not absolutely certain that they can deliver. They have been very good at not over-promising, I think, so far, or very cautious about it. So I know that other games in the past that have had a lot of hype for it, and, you know, maybe they'll release like a gameplay thing that looks really awesome, but then when the game comes out, it's like, what the heck is this garbage? But my intuition, my mind is telling me that this is not going to be that case. This seems like a team that is very conscientious of that and is not going to overpromise more than they can actually deliver. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm super jealous of everybody that got to play, but that's fine. I'll be you one day. I'll be there. I'll be playing. It's fine. You know, save the best for last. But hopefully not last, because hopefully I'll be able to play the alpha, please. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what other topics or games you'd be interested in hearing me talk about or potentially play. I'm really interested in Brilliant Diamond. Haven't gotten the game yet, but I freaking love Turtwig, so I'm going to get it soon and play it, potentially review it, I don't know, rank Pokemon, maybe give a long video essay on why Turtwig is my favorite Pokemon ever and why I would die for him. Okay, like and subscribe. What am I saying? Okay, I'm so embarrassing. Anyways, that's it. Yay. Subscribe.